Hey guys, this episode today is brought to you by Spin Scooter Rental. Spin scooters, I love them, guys. They're just about in every major city today. You could find them in major cities such as Miami, Orlando, Tampa, Atlanta, Georgia. Just about every major city has these scooters just popping up all over the place. Sidewalks, city parks, major business establishments. If you are into exercising, if you're into the scooter trend now of 2021, don't forget to download that app, the Spin Scooter, okay? You could be buzzing around the city in style at 15 miles an hour. Yes, folks, these scooters, these electric scooters, they go about 15 miles an hour. I happen to use these scooters from time to time. They're very modern, they're very aerodynamic, and they're very stylish scooters. So yeah, download that app, Spin, okay? It's on Google Play and the App Store. Check them out, guys. They're just about everywhere. Spin scooters.
Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
I hate to say there's still time to act, but I think there's no way, to me, President Biden anticipated this from his vice president, right? A vice president, to a certain extent, has to defer to her president. You know, not every job, every issue that you deal with up here is a sexy, fun issue. And obviously, Kamala Harris does not consider this a fun, sexy issue to deal with. But it's an important issue. It's the issue that maybe wouldn't have been anticipated going into this administration. I anticipated it, but maybe she didn't anticipate it. But somebody's got to deal with it. And she was appointed by President Biden to deal with it. She hasn't been at the border. She hasn't even pretended to care about it. And like I said, if you're down there, you've got to talk to the people down there. You've got to talk to Border Patrol. Otherwise, to a certain extent, you get spin. See what they think is motivating people coming across the border. Do these people, are they poor people? Can you tell by the money they have with them or by the clothes they're wearing that they're not poor people? These are things you can only find out by getting at the border. And she's not doing it. Not to mention, it's an insult to the Border Patrol. I talked to those guys and gals. I mean, they would love to see some backup from Washington, saying that they care. They don't like to watch 70,000 people a month cross the border. But what they told me, and I don't mean to bring up President Trump, but I'll bring him up again. We had a crisis 2 years ago. But at least at the time, they knew President Trump was trying to do something about it. Now there's no end in sight. They won't even go down there and pretend to care. You would figure if you were just having your staff draw darts at a map of the United States, eventually one of them would land somewhere near the border. But it's like she's going out of her way to say, world, come in here, and to the rest of the country, go to hell. And quite frankly, I believe, telling her president to go to hell.
Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. That was, oh boy. No kidding, right? That was a good representative there, talking about the border there, about, you know, when President Trump, at least he cared, you know, at least he tried to go down to the southern border to pretty much try to help out the crisis that we had, right? So, yeah, Representative Grothman basically telling Kamala Harris, basically, It's like she's telling Joe Biden to go to hell by refusing to visit the U.S.-Mexican border. Representative Grothman, basically, this was just, Thursday? So this was just yesterday, folks, in front of the U.S. Capitol, along with Representative Glenn Grothman, yes, like I said, from Wisconsin, slamming Vice President Kamala Harris for not going to the U.S. border, withholding the visit even to try to make an attempt to see the immigration crisis. And folks, this is an assignment that she was assigned by the President of the United States, Joe Biden. And it's now been 85 days since President Biden has assigned Harris to this assignment. 85 days, folks. Do the math. That's almost 3 months, right? 5 days shy of 3 months. Almost 3 months that she's been assigned assignment that she's never even made an attempt to even start the assignment to begin with. Never made an attempt. 85 days, folks, is enough. It's a disgrace. Really is. Also the GOP, several GOP officials were there, basically saying, another statement. How many more kids must be dropped from an 18-foot wall before Biden administration wakes up? Literally. Folks, these are bad people using children as pawns. Also, what these people have come to be called coyotes. Yes, they snatch these kids along the dangerous journey through Guatemala, and Mexico. I mean, they snatch these kids and they use them as pawns. These coyotes, these crooked, nasty people. So yes, how many more kids, folks, must be dropped from an 18-foot wall before this corrupted presidential administration wakes up? Joining the House GOP members in criticizing Vice President Kamala Harris for failing to address the border crisis, along with Biden himself, Representative Brian Babin from Texas said the Biden administration has abandoned the border and thrown border agents to the wolves. Literally. Yeah, check this out, guys. We're going to plug this in here. Sound clip number 2, please.
When we have the border czar, who has absolutely no intention, obviously, of going any more than she has of going to Europe, as she said, and then so unbelievably cackled and laughed when asked when she was going to be going down there. As you've heard, fentanyl up 300%. I just heard a figure today. Normally, and this is a sad, tragic, normal average, about 70 to 72,000 Americans have been dying of overdoses every year. Stunningly, I just heard that it's 90,000 now. And it's small wonder, because most of these drugs are coming across the southern border, killing Americans, fentanyl up 300% and others as well. The administration has frankly abandoned our border agents. They've thrown them to the wolves. I just wonder how many more little kids, 3 and 5-year-olds, are going to have to be dropped from the top of an 18-foot wall and abandoned and land on the hard dust and concrete by coyotes and cartels who have been empowered. They're the ones de facto in control of our border. But how many more of these are we going to have to see before this administration wakes up and says, America, I put my right hand in the air and swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws of this land, and that's what I'm going to start doing. Instead, he has abandoned the border.
Abandoned the border. Yeah, that was another representative. Folks, these GOPs pretty much had enough of this administration. For that matter, I think the whole entire country had enough of this damn administration. This administration is literally giving up on the border agents there at the southern end of Texas. Literally just throwing them to the wolves, saying, just try your best, try your best. I mean, that's literally the words that are coming out of their mouths. Literally, Biden had put Harris in a lust of political power above American lives by ignoring the border. Yeah. And what has Vice President Harris done in 85 days? Absolutely nothing, folks. Nothing. She could care less. Every time somebody questions her about the border, she laughs. She laughs like it's a big damn joke. Like, oh yeah, we've been to the border. Yeah, you've been to the border? When have you been to the border? When have you been to the border? Because we haven't seen you at the border since you were assigned that assignment, Madam Vice President. You haven't been to the border. Stop lying to yourself. Jesus Christ, you're just as worse as Joe Biden. You haven't been to the border. We haven't even seen you at the border yet. In other news related to this topic I'm talking about, folks, Texas prison now empties ahead of surge in migrant arrests. Oh yeah, check this story out here. Big story trending out on Breitbart News. On Wednesday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordered the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to transfer all the inmates from the Dolph Brasco unit in Dilley to other state facilities, right? Yeah, listen to more of this crap. The move, according to the DTCJ, is preparation for expected border area arrest involving immigrants or migrants accused of violating state laws. Yeah, more taxpayer money just being thrown out. Thrown out the you know what. Yeah. The news was first reported by and for the Marshall Project. Yeah, check this out. A tweet coming out of this. Hashtag breaking. Yeah. Multiple sources tell me that the governor's office has ordered the DTCJ to clear out all the prisoners from one state prison, Briscoe unit, so it can hold immigrants picked up by Texas state troopers for low-level charges as part of the Operation Lone Star. Oh, yeah, coming out of one tweet. But, folks, to address the ongoing crisis, Governor Abbott is directing state resources to arrest and confine those individuals crossing the border unlawfully and who have committed a state or federal crime. Yeah, they should. They should be thrown in prison. Why not? Why not? I mean, the last I checked, folks, if you cross the border illegally, isn't that a crime in our country? Yes, we understand they're not legal citizens of this country. They are illegal immigrants that are crossing the border without proper screening. So yes, folks, that is a crime. Yes, we have laws and order in this country for one reason. Yes, to control the law and order in this country, right? Hence the word law and order. If you want to come into this country, you need to come through a merit-based system, meaning you have to be screened out first before our country approves your entry. Yes, they did it in the early 1900s when we had people coming over from England and all European countries for that matter. They came through Ellis Island, right? And they were screened and processed legally. Well, that was another form of immigrants that actually wanted to come to this country for good cause, to work and make a good living for themselves and for their families. Now it's the other way around. Now these immigrants, 80% of them, want to basically take advantage of all our benefits, welfare, food stamps, you name it, they're pretty much going to get it, folks. So according to more of this article, in addition to those who have unlawfully entered, numerous other offenders are being encountered as part of Abbott's ongoing efforts to deal with the crisis. Operation Lone Star, basically starting back in March, involves the deployment of 1,000 Texas Highway Patrol troopers and the Army National Guard in that area in response to the surge of migrant traffic. Since Operation Lone Star began on March 4th, more than 30,000 migrants have been referred to the Border Patrol. The operation has netted more than $1 million in currency seizures, 62 firearms, and more than 6,000 pounds of marijuana, cocaine, and methadone. I mean, Jesus Christ, folks. Can I say it? Am I allowed to say it? Was former President Trump right about a border crisis? I think he was. But what did they say back then? Oh, Trump is a bigot. He's racist. He's unhumane. He doesn't have a heart for these people that are entering the country. Having a heart is one thing, but looking at the situation as a crisis is another. Folks, we have a crisis at the southern border. Does anybody see that besides myself and simple-minded Americans? I mean, we have a crisis. I just labeled it right there. Since March, folks, Border Patrol in this country has literally netted more than $1 million in currency seizures. Yes, since March. We're in June, folks. April, May, June. 2.5 months later, we have over $1 million in currency seizures. We have 62 firearms and more than 6 pounds of marijuana, cocaine, and meth. Is that a crisis or is that not a crisis? I think we have a problem, and I think we have to take Grandpa President and put him back to the senior citizen home and bring in former President Trump, because under Trump's administration, he actually got stuff done. Right? With that being said, folks, we'll be right back after these words. Don't go anywhere.
Picking it up. The legacy of that shield is complicated, to say the least.
That shield should be destroyed. This world is ours. We're never gonna stop.
It's the closest thing I've got left to a family. I'm not gonna let anybody tell me I can't fight for it.
Now streaming on Disney Plus, and upgrade to the Disney bundle for even more.
Laura, Texas will build it ourselves. However, tonight is not the night to announce those details. Those details about building the wall will be made next week. We've been through the process, however, of analyzing what it will take, the steps that are needed, the legal processes that are required. We believe that we can do it in a multi-step process.
Governor,
Make the fine point up, Laura. Listen, we have to build the border. I've been down here talking to the people in the Rio Grande Valley, and the way they are being overrun is reprehensible. It's disastrous what the Biden administration has done. President Trump had adequately secured our border. He had the Remain in Mexico policy. He began building the border wall, and now suddenly all of that disappeared. And as you highlighted, it's led to a dramatic increase in the number of people coming across the border. But it's not just unaccompanied minors. People are causing great damage and harm to the residents right here in Del Rio, as well as up and down the entire border.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That was Gov Abbott making a huge announcement on the fate of the southern border there in Texas. Basically, also too, getting in. I'm going to get into this very, very heated topic here. Not only is it trending the news everywhere here in the country, but it should get the attention of the president, because we have a huge border crisis on our hands, and we had
had a border crisis on her hands before when President Trump was in office, but he had that under control, or at least more under control than this president has it. Because this president has this border wide open, assigned an assignment to Vice President Harris, and she hasn't done a damn thing about it. So, that's good. Governor Greg Abbott stepping it up, making a huge announcement on the fate of the border, saying that he is going to set and lay the foundation for the state's own border wall, telling Americans that rest assured that he's going to get it done. He's going to get it done. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit of an obstacle course for him as well, because acting as a governor, is he stepping out of line? I don't think he is. I mean, I think he's had more than enough patience, not only as his state's governor, okay, but, he's had patience even with the president. And now he's demanding the president to do action. I mean, I think every able-bodied American is saying the same thing, Let's get this done. Let's get this done. It's been 85 days. What have they done? They haven't done a damn thing about it. But that's good, folks. Because you know why? Because, you should be backing this governor. This governor's trying to get stuff done. We have a crisis into its own hands. And we have to get it done. You guys should be lucky to at least have a governor who's fighting for you every day in Texas. Not only fighting for Texas, but fighting for America. Because this president we have in office isn't fighting for shit. Isn't doing a damn thing. And I'm back in Texas, folks. I really am. I'm back in Texas because they are trying to do what's right for their state and for the whole country. But I hope they start some kind of funding site for donations as well. Get more money to come in because we need to finish that wall. We need to finish it. It was built for one purpose and one purpose only: to control the flow of illegals coming through this border, to protect us from harmful cartels of not only drugs but just bad stuff that this country doesn't need. We don't need all that crap. We got enough problems in our country to worry about. I could tell you for a point right here. I live in the state of Georgia, and we see the same amount of crap that comes into this state, like I'm sure they see in Texas. But what the hell is this president going to do? Is Vice President Harris going to go down the southern border soon and visit with officials down there and the Border Patrol agents? Is she going to do that? Or is she just going to do her little cackling laugh that she's known to do all the time? Because it has to get done, folks. This whole situation is just bad. It's terrible. Yes, I understand each state has their own objective and their own scenario to basically kind of play it around to see what's best. I understand that. But the federal government has become so corrupt now to a point of just ignore the problem. I'm trying to find the words here, folks, because I'm a little heated up about this. It's a disgrace what this administration's doing. We the people, folks, deserve that the American scenario needs to get played out better. The Biden administration has to do something. They have to do something. Stop ignoring the fact of the southern border. We have a crisis down there. Stop pushing crap. We get COVID. We get the vaccinations. I hear nothing but vaccinations all the time. I hear the pushing of that. It's terrible. Really is, folks. It's terrible. Really is. What's there to do, right, folks? What is there to do? It's there to do. But, it's good that Governor Greg Abbott is gonna He's gonna get stuff done. I guess he's gonna, he said earlier this week that he's announcing that Texas will begin building and finishing the border wall. That's good. That's good. I hope he gets it done. We shouldn't hold our fate in a governor. I mean, yes, we should, but we also should hold our fate in the president. Making better responsibilities in that crisis, because I mean, this is literally, folks, it's an embarrassment. We have a president that literally can care two shits, folks, literally two craps. I want to play in a soundbite here, just from last week. An Arizona sheriff, again, slamming Harris. Border crisis is not a laughing matter. Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about that. I want to plug this in. It's coming out of Fox News, folks. About a week ago. It's all she does is laugh when this border topic comes up. Check this out, guys. So as we're getting the soundbite here, it's coming, guys. Here it goes.
Kamala Harris over when she'll actually visit, if ever, the border for a first-hand look at the crisis she's supposed to fix.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I
what the hell does that have to do with anything? We're talking about the border, you stupid idiot.
I will go again. But when I'm in Guatemala, dealing with root causes, I think we should have a conversation about what's going on in Guatemala.
Can you commit right now that you will indeed visit the U.S.-Mexico border, and will you do it soon?
Yes, I will, and I have before.
Why is she laughing? Here to react, Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb. Sheriff, do you know why she wouldn't go to the border?
Look, we're as confused as obviously she was after that question. Look, this is our vice president who says to Lester, I don't even know what you're asking here. Listen, Kamala, if you don't know what he's asking, then you're definitely not the right person for the job. And she keeps proving time and time again why she's not the right person for the job. This is an important issue for her. That's why she's not coming down. And we are left to only believe that this is exactly what they want. They want this chaos that is coming into this country. That's why they refuse to address it, and her in particular. And it's not a laughing matter. Shame on her.
So, people focus on Texas. It's terrible in Arizona. I've talked to you enough to know that, and you see the exasperation of the Attorney General as well as the governor. They don't seem to care. Is the theory, Sheriff, if I see it, I own it? If I'm actually seen at the border with these soft facilities which are filled with children and the chaos of other children being dropped over the wall and the Border Patrol rounding up thousands, if she's seen with this, she'll actually have to own this?
Yeah, Brian, you're probably right. If she's seen with it, they have to own it. It's almost like a little kid where if they just ignore it, it's not a problem. But it is a problem, Kamala. I'm telling you it's a problem, and we all know it, and the American people know it. They're wise to it. They know this, and yet they refuse to address it. She refused to come down here. And they keep saying that they're addressing the root problems down in places like Guatemala. I would heavily contend, that the root cause is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their policies, their failed policies. That's what they need to fix first and foremost. Then if you want to go down and fix the rest of the world's problems, do so. But we got plenty of our own here. Let's start with those.
Sheriff, what's your response when she says, this is a long-term, there's no short-term fix. This is a long-term problem. It's been around forever. Every day is a 5-alarm fire for you and your other officers. Don't tell me I got to wait a decade to fix it. We've got 1 million people here illegally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it is a problem that has existed for a long time, but we had a president over the last 4 years who was working hard to fix that. President Trump was doing what he needed to do. The wall was being built. We were seeing a reduction in illegal immigration. We were seeing a reduction in drug trafficking. Although the drugs were increasing in amounts, the amount of busts we had were reducing, or at least staying the same. So these are successes we were having, but now these policies they have, they're making it even longer game. And as long as they refuse to secure the border and shut it down, she's right. This is never going to go away, and it's going to take forever to fix it.
And just keep in mind, if you're watching from around the country and you're not in a border city or a border state, the problem's yours too, because they are shipping the illegals out of these border areas and into your town. And they're not going to tell you. They'll just be there. And they might be fine people. That's just not the way a country can exist and thrive. That's not the way immigration system should be working. And it's not just Guatemalans. We've got over 100 countries coming through the border.
Yeah, that's a sound clip here I plugged in from Fox News from an Arizona sheriff literally saying, folks, this is not a laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter. And why does she keep on bringing up Guatemala? That's not the root cause. The root cause is at our border. And she's like, I don't understand the question. Lady, if you don't understand the question, I agree with these two people here. If you don't agree with the question, you shouldn't be vice president. Folks, these two, like I said, I don't know how in the hell they got the vote. If it came down to that, don't get me started with the voting process, because that was just a freaking joke. But, folks, oh boy. And it's getting worse and worse every day. This border crisis is just worse. It's getting worse and worse every day. It's like we have to continue to fight harder and harder, not only just to protect our country from illegal immigration and chaos and drugs and and crime and all that bad stuff. Not only do we have to fight hard against that, folks, but we got to fight 10 times harder against this administration that won't do a damn thing about anything. They won't lift a finger to even try to help us. Folks, they're setting us up for destruction. I think they want it. I think this Arizona sheriff is right. I think they want it. And it's also good, folks, to see a sheriff to stand up to just not only just this corrupted administration, but just haters everywhere. And the Democrats that hate our country, they do, folks. If they literally gave a hoots about our country, if these Democrats that they say that they love our country and they say that they're for the American people, if they were for the American people, why don't they stand up and fight for us? Fight for us and save us like Republicans have done for so many years. I'm starting to realize now that Kamala Harris, not only is she an embarrassment, she's an embarrassment, but she's starting to laugh, right? Because every time when she laughs because she's nervous. She has no idea how to react, so she laughs nervously. It's really bad. It's a bad quality, folks, in a leader to do that. To laugh in an interview or laugh around a reporter that questions not only an important issue, but an important topic. Folks, that's an important topic about our crisis that we have. Yes, we have a crisis down in our southern border, Madam Vice President. You need to do something about it. You need to go get Grandpa President there, Joe Biden, go down to the southern border and fix our problem. God willing, folks, we have 3 more years under this administration. Can we continue to put the Band-Aids on in this country with these two? Can we? I hope 2024 comes soon, folks, because we got to get these two clowns out of office. We really do, folks. It's bad, bad stuff.
You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle podcast, an Anchor platform.